Okay, so I'm going to get started. This is the first Zoom meeting of the City of Scranton's Ethics Board, and there is some repetition. I can hear the same dialogues being repeated, and there's a little bit of background noise, but hopefully that will dissipate soon. Today is Friday, April 17th. It's just after 5 p.m. and I'm going to call this meeting to order. And note the presence of the following members. Andy Heller is here. Stephanie Bressler is here. She is attending by audio. Carol Migliorino is here. And Bruce Reddick is here. And I am present, Mary Jo Sheridan. Our solicitor, John Hart, is also present for this meeting. We have all members of the board and our solicitor. The first order of business is, well, actually, before I continue, I was wondering if someone could volunteer to take the minutes for this meeting, maybe even 2 people to ensure that we get some solid minutes drafted supporting our business here. We don't have a secretary yet, so if someone could act as secretary for tonight, I would appreciate it.
I could take minutes.
Thanks, Bruce.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, so the first order of business after roll call is I would like someone to make a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes.
I will make that motion.
Okay, the minutes of the March 12th meeting, and for us to vote to approve. So Carol has made the motion.
Second it.
Andy is seconding the motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, so the board unanimously voted to suspend with the reading and approve the March 12th minutes.
Aye.
The next order of business is to
Aye.
Okay, the next order of business is to approve the invoices from the Scranton Times Tribune for the advertising of meetings and for the public bid solicitation. Let's see, we have one invoice for $60.05. We have another invoice. We have two, I think we have 3 invoices that we all have already reviewed. Can I get a motion to approve those invoices, the invoices that I sent earlier this week?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, so Bruce made the motion and Carol seconded. All in favor approving the payment of those invoices? I'm sorry, I don't have a printer, so I didn't print them out. Wait, I might have them. Let me see. Oh, here they are. I can tell you the amounts. No, that's not it. Yeah, I can't. I'm afraid to go back and accidentally exit out of this meeting. Okay, so we'll approve the payment of those invoices, and those amounts will be disclosed in the minutes. Okay, and then the next order of business is to,
I believe Attorney Hart's still on mute here on my
What?
phone. I think, there he is, okay.
Yes, until I have to speak, I think it's best to be on mute.
the next order of business is to ratify the solicitor's fee agreement, which we technically accepted when we approved the appointment of John as our solicitor at the March 12 meeting. But I would like to formally approve his fee agreement, and so that we can get that entered into the record as well.
I'll make that motion to approve the agreement, please.
Okay, so Andy's making the motion and Bruce is seconding the motion. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we have, again, a unanimous vote. So we've had a unanimous vote to approve the minutes, a unanimous vote to approve the invoices, and a unanimous vote to approve the solicitor's fee agreement for this year. And all of those, the invoices, the minutes, and the fee agreement will all be available to the public when we, I'll submit all of them to the clerk's office this week, okay? Along with the minutes that we just approved. And then the next motion is to ratify the advisory opinion or opinions on two matters that were requested by City Solicitor Joe Price. And I'd like to make a motion on that, unless someone would like to discuss anything first.
Yeah, I think before we look, well, we've already looked at it, but before we decide to show our approval or ratification, my only concern was with the first part of the advisory opinion regarding public officials, city officials, helping to promote fundraising in the community. And I certainly don't have any disagreement with Attorney Hart's advisory opinion here, but I do think that we need to be concerned about the public perception that city officials might be steering people to maybe their favorite charities or charities that they're familiar with. And I'm not sure that it's appropriate to address it now, but I think we need to think about it when we revise the ethics code. I think we have to be really careful about public perception that some organizations might be favored over others, even if, in fact, that's not the case.
I think that's an important point to make, and I think it's important for us to make clear to the public too that our advisory opinion is not we're not rendering an opinion on the merits of choosing specific charities or anything like that. We are simply providing an opinion on whether the effort is allowable under the ethics code or not prohibited under the ethics code. Correct, John? Is that correct?
That's correct. And if I can add, like right now, obviously during the COVID-19 crisis, it's important to point out that if these nonprofit organizations, if they're voluntarily coming to the government officials saying, you know, we need some extra support here, if you'd like to help in, maybe as like drop-off locations for food donations, that's kind of what this is geared to. And when I spoke with Attorney Price, he had indicated that people were, the public were saying, you know, how can we help? Where can we put like drop-off food donations? We don't know different locations, but you know, we know where City Hall's footsteps is. They want to be able to do things like that.
So this is most directly related to the COVID-19 situation, which is probably, we're talking about food donation and food pantries is what we're more looking at this particular juncture.
That's correct. And yeah, the necessity of this opinion arose when they noticed how big of a public support there was for the Friends of the Poor with food donations. And I guess they had lines that stretch for miles.
Yeah.
So just for putting it on the record for the sake of this meeting, is it worth having Attorney Hart provide sort of an overview of what that advisory opinion is, just so it is on record as part of the meeting? Or should we just wait till it goes public on the website?
The opinion will be public. I
Okay.
think it should be published on the website.
Okay.
Do you want to recap it, John, or or will we just?
We can, sure.
Okay.
We just pull up there were two issues, basically, what Attorney Price contacted me for, and they wanted an opinion on. The first issue was whether or not, and they basically, and I acknowledged to them that it was good of them to reach out and just play it extra safe for this. But the first issue is whether or not they could aid in the assistance of potentially soliciting donations. And they just want to be extra cautious because they didn't want it to be perceived as they themselves, as public officials, were soliciting them for their own benefit. They were kind of acting as just a channel. So there's extra ways that people can give donations to different people in need right now. So they weren't actually the recipients of these donations. They were just using themselves as a channel to get it to the right people. The other issue they had were many people were asking whether or not they can make donations to first responders and Department of Public Works employees, and basically as a sign of gratification and for them being out there keeping the city safe and clean during this pandemic. While based on my interpretation of our code, it would be allowed, provided that those donations, for an example, would be a restaurant wanting to donate trays of pizza to a firehouse. Our code would allow for that, provided that those donations also be made available to the public. And while normally it'd be allowed, it was our opinion that right now it wouldn't be advisable because it'd be impractical to actually put it in practice because for public safety concerns due to this interesting times, it just wouldn't make sense to be asking the public to come to these public locations.
Okay.
So that's what was our response for those two matters that I relayed over to Attorney Price.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, John.
Absolutely.
Any more comments or questions or concerns? Are we ready to make a motion to ratify the opinions?
I motion we ratify the opinions.
I'll
Okay,
second it.
okay, and Andy is seconding. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that's a unanimous vote to ratify the solicitors, the advisory opinions of the Ethics Board. Okay. All right, the next item on our agenda is other business, and the only other business is when we advertised this meeting, we invited the public to send in questions, and the questions had to be emailed to us by 2 p.m. today. I checked the email at 4 p.m. and there were no emails. So there were no questions from the public. So that's all there is. I know that this is my first time ever doing Zoom. So I'm definitely open to any suggestions for improvement in conducting these meetings. It's challenging enough to do them in a normal boardroom while we're all together, and this presents a different set of challenges. But I'm so grateful for everybody making the time on a Friday evening for us to do this business, and I look forward to our future work together. And if anyone else has any comments.
We really didn't have too many other places to go tonight. So.
I can't do happy hour, so.
Well, I anybody else? Bruce, Stephanie, John?
No?
No, just want to say, hopefully everybody's staying safe and, continue your quarantining efforts, and hopefully we'll be back together soon.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, I agree. Everybody has to stay safe.
Yeah. Stay safe and healthy, and all the best.
All righty.
All right.
Thank you.
Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make
a motion.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, Stephanie made that motion. I think Bruce seconded it. Okay,
good.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's unanimous. Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Okay, take care.
Stay safe.
Okay,
Be
you
safe, everyone.
too. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.